is not going anywhere. Big shout out to Hooke Road. They went ahead and sent me a roof rack for this Tacoma. So this is gonna be like an unboxing slash install video. I was in the market for a roof rack. I saw this brand come up, Hooke Road, and it was a very budget friendly roof rack. I reached out to them. I said, hey, would you guys like to do some sort of collaboration? They said yes. So here we are. I'm gonna show you guys how I install it and then overall what I think about it. They got the inside nice and padded so it doesn't get scratched or dented. 2 stickers, they're pretty cool. Even their packaging has their name right there. Hooke Road for your adventures. Oh, this is pretty nice. Nicely coated. Pretty heavy duty stuff. So this is the platform. This is what your gear is going to be sitting on. Has the slots right there. The front door. Road, like rubber gasket or cover for the bottom. It's not glued on, you can take it off, but I might add a bit of glue to it so that it doesn't come off. So you just pull it. And then you get a little white box with all your hardware and your mounting, things like that. So when you make this purchase, you get the front piece, the 2 sides, the back. I'm assuming this is part of the back. And then you get 6 crossbars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the hardware. 2 6 stickers and the instructions. You can also scan this barcode to get the instructions on your phone. So based off of the instructions, the only tools you're gonna need is a 13mm socket, a 4mm Allen wrench, and a 5mm Allen wrench, and that should be it. In the kit you get 4 mounting brackets. This is the front rear, front left, this is the right rear, this is the left rear. And then you also get some nice pads so that the brackets can sit on. So I think you're supposed to assemble the rack on the bottom, like on the floor, and then lift it up and mount it. But I'm only one person here and I don't feel like lifting 50 pounds on top of my roof, especially if it's gonna be awkward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build out this first section and we're gonna mount it loosely and then put the crossbars after. I've got some isopropyl alcohol just to clean the bottom of these rails. Honestly, my first impressions of this rack is pretty good. Quality seems well built, very straightforward design, and I think it's gonna look clean. Before I start assembling everything, I showed you guys earlier that this gasket or guard comes off. I'm gonna throw a few dots of silicone to hold it in place. This is not necessary. It doesn't say in the instructions you have to do this. This is just me being overkill, but like I said, I don't ever plan to take off this roof rack. So I want to prep it and make it so that it'll last me a really long time. This is the silicone that I'm using. I think it was around 10 bucks at the Home Depot. I got it in black because the roof rack is black, so if anything spills, it won't show as bad. There you have it. A little bit of silicone speed out right here, but I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna hold. You can't even tell. That is how we're looking. So I just noticed our first flaw is that this sticky mount was slightly peeling. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that I cleaned it. If anything, I feel like that would help it stick better, but maybe the adhesive just isn't that strong right now. And as you can tell, this pad is bowed or bent, so it wants to go upward. This was the only one that I noticed it was slightly peeling. What I'm planning to do is just put a thin layer of silicone and just mount it to hold it, I guess. Feels pretty good. I might do that on all of them. That one feels good, actually. That one feels good. It's only the big ones that are moving on me. The little ones seem to be doing okay, but nothing a bit of silicone can't fix. Another thing I want to bring up that you should pay attention to is the bolt size. And they're almost identical, but as you can tell, one is longer than the other. So just be mindful of which screw you're using to install the different parts. I will be adding some Loctite thread locker on my bolts. One thing I did want to bring to your guys' attention is that there are some like scrapes on this rack that I will probably need to touch up with some paint, otherwise it might rust. Check it out. Right here on this top part, right here on this piece, a little one right there, and then some right there. In regards to the structure of the roof rack, it's solid, it's well built. The little paint chips are like cosmetics. It has nothing to do with the structural integrity of the actual rack, which in my eyes is okay. But I did want to bring it up to your guys' attention that there might need to be some touch-ups of paint afterwards. Oh dude, even just like this is pretty heavy. Wow. That's like a good 30 pounds, I want to say. I can already see this being quite a challenge. I should have just put the 2 rails up top and then mounted that front piece and then the back piece, but we're already committed, so we got to figure this out. I'm not too concerned about sliding it because it has rubber feet. There it is. Well, that kind of sucked, but we did it. Check it out. So I was standing on one of my toolboxes, and it did help me because it gave me that extra bit of height. I was standing on here, but then as I was leaning forward, this slipped back and I dropped the rack. But it is looking good. If you're watching this, I would put just these rails first and then add these guys after. It's heavy as is right now. I can't imagine how heavy it would be to try to put it with the bars. The roof of the car did get a small dent right here and over there from my incident, but you guys can learn from my mistakes. So all these are strapped nice and tight. You can adjust the rails slightly. There's some play in here, so if you want to push them back you can, or forward. It has some wiggle room, but I just pushed them all back to keep it simple. I messed up because I screwed in this back rail and I needed to be off to get access to these screws, but it's just this rear rail. The front, you can install it and still have access to your screws. One thing I did want to mention to you guys is that only one side of the rail has these slots to insert like tracks or your mounts. The other side just looks like this with nothing. There's the entry and then there's the entry. The way I did it was 2 here, 2 on that side, and then 2 on this side. Before I secure everything down, I want to throw this piece on. We just got the front support bar installed. I would probably do this before installing this shield. It would have just been a lot easier, but it's not impossible to do it when it's already mounted. The good thing is that you can slide this bar around and it gives you that play room to insert the bolts. So we're just gonna straighten it out and then tighten it down. I just want to get it snug, nothing crazy. I know in the beginning of the video I pulled this out, but I don't even think I'll be able to use it. It's a tight fit, so we're gonna use one of these guys instead of this. Same size, it's a 13, but this will give us the room we need, or the access to get behind the bolt or the nut. For these bolts, we're gonna be adding silicone to the inside. We are tightening the last set of bolts to secure the roof rack to my truck. It is a little tedious because when you put silicone, it's hard to find the threads, but just be patient, make sure you don't cross thread, and then just get your bolts snug. That's not going anywhere. Now we just gotta secure the back. We're good. I am stoked with how this came out. So I cut this little piece. It slides in right there, and then I'm gonna push down. I'm also gonna add a bit of silicone just to hold it in place. Got this back piece, that piece in, and then this last little front piece. These openings are really cool. You can get creative and mount different things. Maybe get some brackets, put an awning, or whatever you want. Tons of storage up top. I like this cutout as well, of like the mountains. It took me, I want to say 5 hours to get this thing installed by myself. Granted, I was filming, I was moving the camera and getting different shots, so maybe cut that time in half if you're doing it by yourself, like 2.5 hours to do it by yourself. But if you can, I would highly recommend just getting somebody else to help you. If you get 2 people, you could probably pre-assemble the roof rack on the ground, and then both of you can mount the roof rack with ease. If you do happen to do it by yourself, I would recommend just mounting the 2 sides first without the front or back piece. And then once you have the 2 sides, you know, slightly loose, I would attach the front, then the back, and then the bars. I don't know if you can mount a rooftop tent on this rack. I wouldn't want to test that out. For me personally, I'm just planning to mount some Husky build-out boxes that hold like my kitchen cookware, some plates and things like that, and maybe some chairs and a tent on the side. So nothing crazy, a good amount of things, but I don't think in regards to weight it's gonna be over 400 pounds. And the cool thing about this rack is that it allows you to get creative. You can get different mounts, get different brackets, and just let your mind run wild. You know, they give you a lot of options in regards to mounting, to where you can get it fitted for whatever you're trying to do or whatever gear you want to put on it, which I really like. Once again, a huge shout out to Hooke Road for sending me this roof rack. I'm gonna put it to great use. It's an amazing product. I'm really happy. Overall, I would say I'm extremely stoked with the quality of the product, the way the product looks. It's all 10 out of 10 for me, at least. And the price point is fair, in my opinion. If you have any questions about the roof rack and this install process, feel free to ask. I'll catch you on the next video.